When I agreed to let my best friend's son stay with me for the weekend, I thought it would be nothing more than a couple of quiet days. My friend Rebecca had to fly out for an unexpected work trip, and she asked if I could watch over her 17-year-old son, Ethan. I had known him since he was a little kid, tagging along during our coffee dates, playing with his video games in the corner, and asking us silly questions that made us laugh. Now, though, Ethan was taller, more mature, and carried himself differently. He wasn't that little boy anymore. Still, I didn't think much of it. I was just doing a favor for a close friend. I told myself it was going to be a calm weekend, pizza, movies, maybe some board games. Nothing unusual. The first night, I cooked spaghetti, something simple but comforting. Ethan helped me set the table, carefully laying out the plates and glasses. I noticed how polite he was, even a little reserved. "You didn't have to do this, Miss Lauren," he said with a soft smile. "Don't call me that," I laughed. "You've known me forever. Just Lauren is fine." He nodded, though I caught a flicker of shyness in his eyes. We ate dinner, talking about his school, his plans for college, and his dreams of studying architecture. The way his face lit up when he described his designs caught me off guard. He had a passion, a determination, that reminded me of myself when I was younger, before life became routine. Later that night, we watched an old comedy on TV. Ethan laughed at parts one didn't think he would find funny, and soon, I was laughing too. The living room filled with an easy warmth, the kind that made you forget how quickly time was passing. When the credits rolled, it was almost midnight. "You should head to bed," I told him. "Guest room's ready for you." "Thanks, Lauren," he said, carrying his blanket under his arm. Before disappearing into the hallway, he paused and added, "It feels really nice here. Like home." Those words stayed with me long after I turned off the lights. I couldn't explain why, but my heart softened in a way I hadn't expected. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of dishes clinking in the kitchen. When I walked in, I found Ethan making pancakes, flour dusted across the counter, and a proud grin on his face. "Thought I'd make breakfast," he said. I laughed. "Rebecca would never believe this." "You cooking?" "She doesn't let me. Says I make too much of a mess," he admitted, shrugging. "But I wanted to try." We sat together and ate his slightly burnt pancakes, and I told him they were delicious. He beamed like he'd just won a prize. That simple breakfast turned into hours of conversation, about music, about books, about how he sometimes felt like people didn't take him seriously because of his age. "You know," I said thoughtfully, "people will always underestimate you until you show them what you're capable of. Don't let it get to you." He looked at me with such sincerity. "That's why I like talking to you. You actually listen." The weekend continued in unexpected ways. We went on a long walk in the park, the summer air thick with the scent of cut grass and blooming flowers. He told me about the sketches he carried in his notebook, and I asked to see them. When he showed me, I was stunned. His drawings were detailed, filled with imagination, and a level of precision that was rare for someone his age. "These are incredible, Ethan," I whispered. "You really have a gift." His face flushed with pride, but also something deeper, something vulnerable. "No one's ever said that to me before," he admitted quietly. That night, a thunderstorm rolled in. The rain lashed against the windows, and the sound of thunder echoed through the house. I found Ethan sitting on the couch, hugging a pillow, pretending not to notice the storm. "You okay?" I asked. He gave a small shrug. "Never liked storms much." I sat beside him. "They used to scare me too. But my mom always told me storms are just nature's way of cleaning things up. After the storm, the air feels fresher, like the world has a new beginning." We sat together in silence, listening to the storm until it slowly began to fade. In that quiet moment, I realized how much the weekend had changed me. What I thought would be just looking after a teenager turned into rediscovering simple joys, like laughter, encouragement, and being truly present for someone. When Sunday afternoon came, Rebecca arrived to pick Ethan up. She hugged me tightly. "Thank you for watching him, Lauren. I know teenagers aren't easy." I glanced at Ethan, who gave me a small, grateful smile. "He was no trouble at all," I said honestly. As they left, Ethan turned back and waved. For a second, I felt a pang in my chest, an ache that came from realizing how much those few days had meant. They reminded me that sometimes the most unexpected weekends could leave lasting impressions. I never expected to feel so connected, so inspired by my friend's son. He wasn't just a teenager anymore. He was growing into someone remarkable, and in some strange, beautiful way, he reminded me of parts of myself I thought I had lost. And that was something I would never forget.